Okay, this was attempt number 2, but I think I got attempt number 2 working. It was simply a matter of forgetting to turn on the audio in my Blackmagic ATEM Mini. This is an overkill setup I have done. I'm one of those people that once I get an idea, I tend to take it to the max and things are getting a little overkill. So this is my home studio setup. I'm not a gamer, not at all, but I will be live streaming a lot of my really boring business work. And so this is an opportunity for me to kind of share with you what my setup looks like, and I'll show you some of the behind the scenes. And so I have the Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro, and so that lets me do angle shoots. And so let's take a look over here. Hey everyone, that's my B camera over there. It's kind of giving you a wider shot. This is my entire workspace, and I have a GoPro down here so I can get you some shots. The mic is in this direction, so it's kind of hard for me to turn that direction. And so let me show you a couple of the setup. Down over here is the Rodecaster Pro that's acting as my mixing board, and I'm bringing in different audio sources and sending that signal via the monitor out into the mic jack of the Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro. It is a 4 video input mixer, and so that lets you get input from 4 different channels or sources, if you will. And so this is source 2. I got source 1, which is right here, which is where I started out. This is the large piece, and I think 3 I have hooked up to a GoPro. So in a little bit I can kind of show you a little bit closer. And 4 I don't have set up yet, but 4 is going to be going to recording my screen. And so let me show you one more thing. Over here, it's kind of hard for you to see because the camera's not focused on it. I do have multi-view. So one of the benefits of the Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro is it has multi-view. So it's outputting, it looks like it's outputting a preview source, a program source. So preview, I can preview what's about to come up next. And once I click the button, it goes to that. It lets me see what's on 4 different channels. So I do have that. I believe I can turn on different things. Key, I don't know. I don't have that configured yet. There's a lot of things I haven't configured, so this thing is just really complicated. One of the benefits of using this device as opposed to what I used to do was use eCam software was I was sending it to the computer and having the computer do the camera setup and then the streaming. The problem is it takes up a lot of processing power, so the computer is heating up and it's just a lot of things going on. So what is all happening here is the encoding and then the sending to the internet via Ethernet. Streaming is happening from the device itself. And so my computer right now is just, it's monitor, right? It's just playing whatever's on YouTube. And so that's the complete benefit of this entire setup. Complete overkill, but let me show you a little bit from the vantage point of my desk. So I'm working here. This is me working in my workspace over here. I have my laptop to the left over here, slightly out of frame. I have a second monitor, which is not working right now. I have my A camera that's sitting right there. My 2 control panels that's happening down here. Typically my keyboard and mouse will sit down here or whatever I'm working on. I have a multicam over there. I'm looking at it periodically just to monitor, see what's on the screen, what's going on. And also up here is a field monitor. It's actually a recorder. It's a Ninja 5 recorder. I don't currently have that set up yet, and it's not hooked in. So let's get a different view so you can see what it looks like from my desk. And so this is hooked up into a GoPro now, so I'm streaming coming out of the little GoPro. This is my B cam. So the way I have this set up is it's mounted on a towel bar, and on those towel bar is this magic clamp from Manfrotto. And then there's a bunch of gear, rigs, and pieces that's hooking onto eventually an Argus Swiss mounting plate, and my camera is mounted up there. Let's move down over here. I have a second podcast mic that is just for our second guest if they're in the room with me. I have the Rodecaster Pro that's sitting right there. Right now I have 2 input sources. I have input 1 and input 2. Input 2 is not in use, so I'll shut it off. Input 1 is what I'm recording with the Electro Voice RE20. I do have a wireless mic set up with the Rode Wireless Go. That is available in case I do want to move around. I have audio coming from my computer, and sometimes if I'm taking a phone guest, I can turn on, connect to my phone, and then just a sound mixing board over here. That is then sent in the back here via this monitor output. So 2 1/4-inch outputs left and right goes to 3.5 millimeter input here. So that's why there's this red light here for on. And so let's examine this a little bit more. The Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro has 2 sources, mic 1, mic 2. And so what I'm doing is I'm taking audio from the Rodecaster Pro, putting it into mic 1. There could be some syncing issues. I'm not sure. We'll have to troubleshoot and play around with that some later. But there is an option of syncing some of the audio. Seems like we're clipping or we're losing a couple of frames here and there, but I'll come back and experiment with that. Having some internet issues today. This red cable here is an Ethernet wire, so it's a direct cable to my home network, and so that's how the stream is coming out to the internet. It's being broadcast via Ethernet. And this HDMI is going out to this source over here. And this is the multicam. So there's the preview, the program, is actually being shown right now, broadcasted. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, which is the GoPro happening right now. I have media player where I'm losing some frames here and there, so not sure what's going on there. This is monitoring kind of the data rate. We're going at 5.9 megabits per second. Okay. And then I'm monitoring audio over here as well. Camera 3 looks like, the GoPro's doing some audio. So hopefully I have, let's go back to the Blackmagic device here. Audio is off for each one of the cameras. The only source of audio I have is on, coming in from the Rodecaster. That's the general setup. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this because I believe that leaders are now their own media company. We're all working at home. And so you don't have the luxury of coming into a production studio. So I wanted to see what would it take to handcraft and build my own studio at home and kind of create a setup where I can record almost production quality, studio quality content, except at home. And it seems to be working pretty well so far. I'm able to record a podcast using the Rodecaster Pro. I can do a live stream show like what you're watching right now. I could stream it, or I think from a workflow perspective, if I'm trying to produce a lot of volume content where I'm just educating people or teaching, I can use this to record directly to disk, and that just kind of eliminates the workflow of kind of taking multiple sources of video and then cutting it in post using Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere. The benefit of this is I'm doing the cut live, and so it's up to me to both interact with my audience and cut in here as well. And so this is the multicam setup. I'm actually really excited. I am potentially looking for a third camera. I thought I have an extra Fuji X Pro 2, which does not have an HDMI output. So it does have an HDMI port, but it does not output video. And so that's the limitation there. I may switch back to a different camera I am sharing with my dad. And so this is the setup where I've been recording my podcast. I will link at some point in the description to my podcast. Come check it out. Just recorded guest number 1 the other day. I have 2 in the dockets coming soon. And then we're going to switch to season 2, which will be then professionally edited and a little bit higher quality. Thanks for joining me in the stream. We will figure out where this goes, and we'll continue this journey. Thanks for joining.